This theater season has been powered with plays celebrating mothers, not just as caretakers, but as catalysts.
I want them to live.
Complicated, compassionate, at times unforgivable, and always unforgettable. Audra McDonald is captivating Broadway as Madame Rose, the musical theater's most iconic and relentless mother in Gypsy.
3, 2, 1.
I know you know everything, so let's just get it all out in the open.
And in a similar manner, Matthew Lombardo's Conversations with Mother attempts to make peace with an Italian force of nature called Maria, opposite the playwright's doppelganger, her son Bobby. In all its messiness and devotion, the play invites the audience to own their mixed emotions encapsulated in one powerful word: mother. The two-person play stars Caroline Aaron, best known as Shirley Maisel in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Whatever you say, I have to check the cutlets, speak to your father.
And Tony Award winner Matt Doyle of the most recent revival of Company.
Don't tell Paul, but I'm not getting married today.
Welcome, Caroline, and welcome, Matt, to Theater All the Moving Parts. When you read through the script, what grabbed you about the characters you were called upon to play?
I was so interested in how we change and how we don't change. And I am also a mother of a son, and I was really enchanted by the relationship.
A good point, Caroline, and that was how we change and how we don't change. What were some of the pivot points in your characters?
When she becomes a widow, this relationship, the relationship with her son, becomes even more consequential. But now she needs his solace in a certain way, and he's in no position to give it. He's sort of like fallen into a degraded way of living, where she says, I'm not going to see you until you change. And she sticks with it. God knows, part of in the arsenal of motherhood is threats. This Dirk person, he doesn't have a job. How does he live?
I think his parents send him money.
Oh, well, good. The two of you have something in common.
You never like any of the guys I date.
That's because you get involved with more disasters than State Farm Insurance.
Matt, what grabbed you about the script that made you think, yeah, I want to do it, especially as a follow-up to some extent to your Tony-winning performance as Jamie in Company?
I looked through it and I was like, God, this just is my relationship with my mother. And I think that when you are a young gay man opening up to your mom, I told her when I was 16 years old, there's a certain vulnerability that you have to allow yourself to have and to share something that personal with your mom at such a young age. And it just forms a really, really special bond on top of a special bond that was already there.
You mentioned that you're a mother of a son yourself.
Yes, I am.
And how do you differ as a mother with Maria?
But I am the kind of mother that when I first became a mother and me and my girlfriends would sit around, we would have this conversation. Would you read the diary or not read the diary? Oh. I would read the diary of any child.
My mother did the same thing.
She read the diary?
She's so guilty of it.
She would read the diary?
Yes,
Yes.
She found diaries and she read them and she
You're not supposed to do that.
She'd bring it up in like fights later and you'd be like, oh, you read
My diary. Exactly.
Because there is the scene in the play where Maria says, did I go through your stuff and that's why I know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and did you feel violated by that?
Not, I think at the time, of course, you know, I was an anxious teenager, but looking back, I completely understand. My mom she's an amazing mother, and she's been so great with all of us over the years. But yeah, she knew that we were all way too smart for our own good and getting into things that we weren't telling her about, and she wanted to find out.
Mothers tend to annex their children from time to time. How do you learn the lesson not to?
You mean the roots and wings?
Yes.
It's sort of, that's really the job, isn't it? Is to give your children roots and also give them wings. I would say Maria's a little bit better at the roots than the wings. She's learning to let him fly on his own.
And Matt, was your mother quite as tolerant in terms of when you came out?
My mother definitely was concerned for so many reasons when I first came out to her, and when I have conversations with them now and they say, oh, you know, I'm sorry I wasn't that quick to accept, or I'm sorry I wasn't warmer at first. And, you know, it takes so much for a young gay man, for a young gay man to accept it in themselves and to figure that out, that to put that on your parent and present that information, I give them a lot of grace for trying to figure that out and navigate that.
I have a line in this play where I say to him, "You are my everything. I hope someday you can see that your everything as well." And I wasn't sure what that meant when we were first rehearsing, but you know, what it meant was, I hope someday you can see you the way I see you. You know?
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you
Really
so much for
appreciate
having
it
us.
and was delighted with our conversation. To hear more from our conversation, make sure to watch the full episode of Theater All the Moving Parts, airing Fridays at 8:30 p.m., also on YouTube. I'm Patrick Pacheco.